All right. Welcome to some Dapper Cat Gaming here. We are going to do a little bit of a showcase here for a second. Okay, this is a different kind of video for me. At the time of this recording, I have 257 hours in this game, 2 Point Museum. And as you will notice, I have 5-starred, right? All the main base game, so Pebberley Heights, the water, what is it called? Passwater Cove, the Bungle Wasteland, Memento Mile, the Wayland Lodge. I do have one thing left that I'm working on up here, but I do have 5 stars. And then, of course, the latest and greatest paid DLC for Pointy Mountains. Got that one 5-starred as well. So all of them were 5-starred. And then I went through and I was doing the little workshop areas, competition type stuff. I've silvered this one, silvered this one, silvered this one. I was able to get a gold on the pre-order DLC, not DLC, the pre-order, the Founders Pack, the Founders Pack. I was able to get that one gold. And so, anyways, I wanted to talk about the game, and I wanted to talk about, progression of the game, right? And I'm just going to start by saying that I've never played a 2-point game up to this game, all right? So no campus, no hospital for me. I started with this one, and I absolutely fell in love with this game.
Your donation. We'd like to remind you that all this stuff does not come cheap.
Not exactly sure what happened there. But we're gonna just kind of press pause here, right? Because let's see. Everything that we're doing right now is basically beyond the end game, right? We finished the story, and now we're just kind of, making our museums look a little better. We've unlocked the things that we want to unlock, and now I can expand as much as I want. I have been going after pristines everywhere in my main museum, which is Memento Mile. And so, yeah, I mean, you can kind of see, you can build these things out. Now, I was thinking of doing a sandbox version, and I've been told through the interwebs that the best map to do your sandbox on is this map, Pebberley Heights, because it has the most room to be able to allow for the different exhibits, right? So, like, this is space, and there's a lot going on in here, by the way, a lot. Getting this to work, laying this out in such a fashion, and I think I'm even missing, maybe not. What is that? Where did that come from? What is this? Fabricated plant, fabricated flamingo. Does it come from here? Oh, I just discovered this. What in the world? Interesting, because I do not remember that. All right. So see, I'm still learning stuff, still figuring things out, understanding what things are doing, and just having a fun time with this building and building game of laying out my museums differently, if you will. So this is Pebberley Heights, right? The space one. And then if we want to go down to let's see, what's another one we can look at? We can look at Passwater Cove. And Passwater Cove, is all about aquariums, right? Wetlandians. So there's not all aquariums. There's some other relics. Let's pause it so she's not talking. And again, just kind of played the game the way it wanted me to play the game. Get some aquariums going and more aquariums, and then some outdoor stuff I kind of threw up here. And most of the museums I did redo. I had to build this as part of the quest. I could probably go sell it now, but I had to build that to complete the storyline. And yeah, it's Oh, there he is. He's my little slate whale. And then I got my little sea monsters. All right, so a lot of things have happened, right? And then we'll go to another one now. I'll show you my bungle. I'm going somewhere with all of this, so just stay with me. I promise I'll try and keep this video short and sweet to the point because this is a review about the game. I think that if you haven't played it, you're missing out. That's just my take on it, right? Just one person's take. I think you're missing out. The game is quite fun. Why is that? Why is it doing that? There. Okay. This is the bungle, which has some really cool pieces in it, right? It didn't have a lot to offer, but it had enough. And I kind of made this one. This is all about building contraptions and using science, right? We had to cleanse the water, which I cleansed it. Why is it? There it goes. I was like, I know I cleansed it.
On 2 Point Radio.
Yeah, so this one's done now as well and looking good. I'm, no reason for me to come back to it, right? All right, now let's go up. We're gonna skip Memento. We're gonna go up to the Lodge, Wayland Lodge, which is the spooky, right? The haunted, if you will, and it's a lot of fun. This one was fun. I'm not a fan though of. I'm not a fan of the neediness of the poltergeists, right? They're very needy, and you have to have a lot of things to keep them happy. And maybe I have too many of them. I tried to put out as many as I could, different variations. And yeah, some of them are they're really difficult, really difficult to keep happy, right? And so again, I went through, tried to pristine some stuff, and then the Coven update came out. I did a video on this the other day. I haven't really built it out in this. I figured I'd start here, so that's what I did, and I have it somewhere else better. This one's not laid out very well, but I'm happy with it, right? It needs some work. Yeah, so there's areas up here you could expand to, and then there's, where are they at? They're over here. We got areas over here, which I've already opened up. I could expand over there. Then there's this area. So this one has a lot to offer, right? A lot to offer. And now we'll go to the mountains, Pointy Mountains. This, of course, is the latest and greatest DLC that came out. And it brought with it the Frozen Tundra, right? So this gave us fantasy finds. And in the fantasy finds, to me is really an interesting concept. To continue the story, though, I had to do some other things. So I do have some haunted stuff, and I do have a little bit of aquariums going on in here. But we get some really interesting pieces and parts. So I tried to make this look like a castle, right? Like an entrance into a castle. And I don't know, I feel like it did pretty good. And let's see. This is where I made my first real cafeteria that was themed. So it looked like a dwarven tavern type thing. We had this big dungeon leaper, which is an interactive display. We did have some cold items that we went and got. Let's see. If you're not familiar, there are different variations of the fantasy armor. There are 3 different variations of the fantasy armor right here. I thought that was pretty neat when I discovered that. And then there are also 3 different variations of the war turf. So again, if you're not going back, you wouldn't know that, right? So go check it out. There are items that your people can wear. So like this one, I have somebody wearing the one eyelid, and these are just extras, just things to help make money in the museum. Let's see, everything else, the dwarven devices, I did a whole video on how to get these to work. I encourage you to check it out it's really, I don't know, I'm impressed by it. I thought this was really cool, what they did here. These are the geodes before you put them into the smelter. And let's see, we've got, then we get in over here. We got our Knights of the Round Table type thing. We've got our Game of Thrones, Ironic Throne. Let's see, dungeon manual, and then our 12 dice, or excuse me, 20-sided dice. Then we got the big dragon, right? This was fun to get, really fun to get. It is missing some of its buzz because it wants to be next to a pristine. I just haven't moved it. Then I started doing some science-y stuff up in here, right? Just kind of helping the museum to grow a little bit. And so, all right, now let's go to our last one. Memento. Memento was the first one, right? But it's the last one that I'm going to show you. And that's because I took this museum, this location, and this is where I chose to build my largest museum. Again, not in sandbox mode, but in career mode. So as it's loading up here, I've rebuilt this thing several times. I'm still not like 100% happy as I've started doing my fantasy finds area right here. This is recent. I haven't done a video on this just yet. This is very recent for me. And this, I redid all of this, did a video on this, got all this going with all of my prehistory, and then you go over this way and you have more prehistory. Then you get into these the time portal and the lone hinge, and then so it interacts with the space stuff. So I started activating the space stuff to get that going. And so I kind of created a little space entrance area over here. I started collecting space parts. There's my frozen area. I wish they would add more to the frozen stuff, but you know, whatever. I did start doing bathrooms that are his and hers. I started breaking them out where I was only doing one bathroom for everybody. I did started to break those out a little bit. We'll see how that plays in the game. And of course, the fantasy finds area, I'm starting to work on going and getting parts for. And let's see, then we get over here to the aquarium side of things. You can see it's just a lot. And I have fish, by the way. I need to figure out the aquariums. That's probably something I'll do soon, is try to start to figure out the fish, right? What works, what goes where it needs to go, and just kind of build it out, right? Because you can see I've got several fish in here that need a place to go. They need a home, and I want to give them a home. But aquariums are so, they're good, but they're just ugly, right? It's hard to get them to look good. Really hard to get them to look good. This is a new piece of decoration. I thought that was kind of neat. And then we get up here into our botany area, and I kind of kept all botany together. And then the Coven update came out, which is the seasonal fall update. And I was like, you know what? I kind of want to build a little area for it. I kind of made a little graveyard right here, a little spooky little graveyard. I got my potion cauldron, which gives people buffs, by the way, which is kind of cool. Little decorations, the jack-o'-lanterns. If you click on them multiple times, they will put up different styles. Something to keep in mind. As does the hanging baskets. The dual pumpkins, they'll change on you as well. Over here, we've got this event, flying broomstick, not event, exhibit. And people get on it and then they fly around. That's pretty cool. And then, of course, our scarecrow, and he changes positions, right? So it's pretty neat. More botany. I extended this out. I put in a tavern or cafeteria back here. This is where my Digiverse. It's not much in the Digiverse. It's just six items in there. So I kind of made a little corner over here. I put my video games over here, like a little gaming area. I'll do more because some of this wants to be near video games. Then I got my poltergeist section over here. I did work extensively hard on getting all of these things to be pristines. Yes, I still have just a couple, like this rocking horse needs to be a gold pristine. These items need to be. So there's a few left that I'm still working on. And I kind of moved things around, moved this back here. Got 3 choppers going in this one because I do keep them pretty busy while I'm playing the game. Now, what's missing from this one, right, is I'm missing the science. I haven't put any science out as of right now. The space, it's not all going to fit over here. I already know that. So I'll have to get creative over here and figure something out for the rest of my space. I do have 2 gift shops going. I have this gift shop right here. I have a gift shop back here. I have tours going in the botany. I have tours going in the Wetlandian area, this little area right down here. I don't go to any of the aquariums, so I've got this going. I have a tour going right over here into the prehistory area. So I have 3 different tours going. I found that tours actually help you make money. You can see my finances up here. My biggest cost is staff wages. Staff wages are a lot. This is per month, $71,000 per month. And if I look at my staff breakdown, you'll see I have 74 staff members. Heavily in the security guards because I have a lot of donations to collect each and every month. So I got to make sure that they're up to speed on that. 27 experts. I've tried to keep the experts real with what I'm using them for. So I had a science guy. I fired him because, well, I don't have any science out, so there was no reason to keep him. I do have space. The poltergeist ones, again, they take a lot of people because they're so needy. The prehistory, the botany is also in here. I'll show you the marine, the fantasy, the digi, and then there's the botany, right? And then 13 assistants, which is enough. I don't need any more. Janitors, I could probably use 1 or 2. I had a couple of inspections recently that said there was too much litter. So I could probably use a couple more. And yes, I need to get better about my training. Okay, I see that. And then my security guards, again, lots of security guards. Lots and lots of security guards. So, now, let's get into the realisms, okay? Let's get into the real good. Oh, shoot. Golden Molars heist. The Golden Molars are attacking me right now. I wonder where they're at. Let's see if we see any real quick. I don't see anything there. These are the guys that dig up through the ground. They tunnel up through the ground. So they're usually pretty simple to find, but for some reason I'm not finding them right now. It says there's 2 of them. Maybe we already caught them, but still you would see their holes. The holes stay. I don't know. That's interesting. Maybe they're not through tunneling yet. Maybe they're on their way. Either way, I'm not going to hit, I'm not going to press play right now. I want to talk about this, right? I want to just talk about the game. There are what I like and what I don't like. All right, so here we go. What do I like? I like the part of the game where I can go in here and be creative. I can build museums how I want. All right. That's number 1 by far what I enjoy. I love the challenge in the game, by the way. The challenge in the game of being that in career mode, you do have to make money. You have to be profitable. And it can be a little bit of a challenge. I tried to play these games to stress myself out a little bit. So that way I'm pushed to the limit of doing what's right, doing what works. So sometimes you build something and then you have to change it. Then you flip it up, you remodel it. And like this area right here, I've remodeled several times this over here. Just recently I expanded the building out. I get why I can't connect these 2 buildings together because they're separate buildings, but I wish there was a feature that allowed me to do that, even though they're separate, that I could connect them and make them one. Now, let me talk briefly about the building. I don't like how the building technique doesn't allow you to do angles. All right? It's all, let me back up, angles. I don't mean right angles, okay? I'm talking about 45s, 60s. I wish we could do them on that type of a 45-degree angle because I would do a different entrance. I don't like having this box entrance here. I would like to be able to put some things on angles, build the building to give it a little bit of a better design. I think that would be fun. I'm not sure how hard that would be to implement into a game like this, but everything's corners. Everything's right angles right now. I would love to see some 45s in the game. At least 45s. Give me 45s. Or give me some of these pieces that are curved, right? If I go to the edge of a building and I want an option for a curve, give me a curve. I think that would be fun. Even in my building of my walls, give me 45s, my interior buildings, or not 45s. In my rooms, I can't do 45s. They're squares. Bathrooms can't do 45. So any of my buildings down here, my building designs, I can't do 45s. And I wish I could. I wish in the aquarium, in the aquariums, give me curves, right? Give me an aquarium that can be curved. I just think that'd be so cool and add a whole nother depth. Like if both of these corners weren't corners but curves, I think that would be awesome and amazing to look at, right? We could make round aquariums. That would be, to me, that would just be so cool, right? Or ovals. But anyways, all right, enough about the building. The expeditions are fun, right? It does give you a little bit of a challenge. So, you go into these and you look and you go, okay, well, first and foremost, it's 70 days on standard. So if I want a detailed, it's going to be 140 days. And then you can look and see what my events are. I could lose somebody, right? Man-eating plant. Illnesses, injuries. It tells you what to expect so you can prepare for that with your manpower. And it's not a bad scenario, right? Good times. I think I haven't found the sea monsters yet. I'm going because I needed to get a level 3 guy up, and I got him there, but now I'm working on it. So let's talk about this real quick, just so I can finish this video. There is a lot of things that are good about the game. I enjoy the characterizations, right? How they interact, what they do. The goblin dressed up in a kid's clothing. The interactions of the exhibits that transform people, like the clown. He is created from this right here, which is called Blooming Buffoon. People can interact and eat Cake Plant. They can eat. This is a little bouncy thing. This thing has a big tentacle that comes out of it that grabs them, tries to eat them, and then spits them out, right? So there's a lot of different... The way they interact is really fun. It's just interesting, to say the least. Like, for example, she will always stare at you, the doll, the haunted doll, right? Look at her. Ooh, she's staring at me. She's staring at me. Interesting, right? This guy right here, he's a mannequin. And sometimes, right, if I look away and then I come back, he changes pose, right? He won't change while you're looking at him. He changes when you don't look at him. So I think that's pretty cool. The little jack-o'-lantern, right? It's a little jump scare. This guy right here, when you look away from him, let's see if I can get it to do it. There it goes. Turns into a pumpkin when you're not looking at him. But anyway, this guy rebuilds himself. He's a knight. He rebuilds himself. This is a little band. The bed, the pillows float. The seance room, things go on in here. Again, the interactivity is really, really fun in the game. I really enjoy this. The customizations that you can do, I wish you could do more, right? But I get it. I understand. It's very difficult, very challenging to code that into the game. I'm not a dev. I'm not a code guy, so I'm sure there's a lot going on here. So all that being said is, guys, overall, this game is easily a 7.5, 8 out of 10. Now, you might be saying, well, Tim, you just talked really highly about it. Why'd you give it a 7.5 or an 8? That's because I like to always say there's room for improvement. Even in my real professional job that I have outside of content creation, being a manager of people, I always want to say you have room for improvement, right? Because if you max out, there's no room for improvement. So the game definitely has room for improvement. Yes, there are some crashes that people have experienced. I have not experienced those crashes on my PC. And the game runs smoothly, runs really good, except earlier in the video where that language was kind of disrupted a little bit. But other than that, I haven't had any issues. Everything's worked good. So as someone who's sitting at 257 hours in the game, I would highly recommend this game. It's fun. I also know that they're going to be bringing out more. They're going to be bringing out more content, right? Seasonal content. We just got the Coven, the fall update. We came out of the summer. The summer was these fish right here, right? These little festive fish. And it also came with these decoration parts right here. So kind of cool, right? So anyways, guys, if you like this, if you're enjoying this, watching this video to the end, I do appreciate it. And you know what to do. And guys, I will see y'all on the next one. Go buy this game. It's a great game. Bye-bye.
Please admire the botany exhibits from us.
What's up?